Time to focus on business. Our business editor, Mike Eppel, joining us now. Mike, could we soon be watching the American ads during the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it sounds like such an interesting topic of discussion when you think about it. You want to see the American ads as opposed to the Canadian ones, but that has been the big complaint among Canadian viewers of the Super Bowl, because you've got the so-called commercial substitution, where whoever's broadcasting the game puts the Canadian ads on and promotions for their own programming. It covers the cost of actually buying the rights. But in a speech in London, Ontario this morning, the CRTC chair, Jean-Pierre Blais, said that after hearing from Canadians during the Let's Talk TV talks all over the course of the past year, the biggest complaint was about commercial substitution for these games. It's only going to be applicable to future Super Bowls starting in 2017. They're not doing an across-the-board ban on the practice, but just for the Super Bowl specifically. So not necessarily this year or next, but in 2017, the big policy change. And of course, we'll have various reactions from advertisers and whether or not that leads to lower bidding for the actual Super Bowl property itself. It costs a pretty penny to buy those rights. We're watching the Canadian dollar this morning drop more pennies in value. It's down to 79.75 cents US, dropped again overnight. And all of this, again, in reaction to what's been going on in the oil market partly, but also what the U.S. Central Bank is saying about future interest rate policy. And again, yesterday, the U.S. Central Bank said the U.S. economy is doing okay, and they could look at an interest rate hike maybe later this year. And that basically just goes completely against all of the other central banks. Bank of Canada might be cutting interest rates again in March. The European Central Bank's been lowering interest rates and adding stimulus, so all of their currencies other than the U.S. dollar have been dropping in valuation. So the exchange rate this morning, $1.25.5. Lots of earnings in today. We've heard from our parent company, Rogers Communications, which showed revenue growth and a dividend hike. Potash is raising its dividend. McDonald's had a big CEO change, and that's got the stock up in early trading activity. We're looking for a recovery after a couple of days of pretty big sell-offs for both the TSX and Wall Street. Ted, back to you.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, Mike. That's our business editor, Mike Eppel, reporting this morning. You can hear Mike on 660 News at 26 and 56 after the hour.